At our youth group the other week, a bunch of Year 7 boys were talking about how you can tell if someone really believes what they say they believe. And one of the kids was saying that he doesn't like it when someone claims to have become a Christian when they're dying. It's just too convenient. It's just too easy. It made me think of my wife's pop, Bill. His daughter, my mother-in-law, had become a Christian as a teenager around the time of the Billy Graham crusades in Sydney, when she'd had an opportunity to talk to him, but she'd felt she just hadn't got the right words out, and Bill didn't seem to understand or take her seriously. When he was about 90, my wife and I got a call saying that this was it for Pop. He was in hospital and he probably wasn't going to be coming out. My mother-in-law was still trying to tell Pop about Jesus, and in the end she asked the hospital chaplain to come see him. And the hospital chaplain just asked Pop straight up, "Are you ready to meet God?" And Pop was finally ready to talk. He said to the chaplain, "It's too late for me. I've spent 90 years not being interested in God. Nothing I do now is going to help me." And the chaplain said, "If it were about what you do, Bill, then why would God have let Jesus get crucified in your place? That'd be a waste, wouldn't it?" Bill decided to trust Jesus at 90 years old, and 4 days later, he died. That's leaving it pretty late, isn't it? One of my favourite bits of the Bible is about someone who literally left it to the last minute. As Jesus was being crucified, one of the criminals, also being crucified, mocked him. The other criminal, maybe even after joining in the mockery for a bit, realised something of who this was hanging there being crucified next to him. And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Isn't that just too convenient? Isn't that just too easy? It's grace. It's the heart of God. I love last-minute conversion stories because they remind me that my story is really no different. None of our stories are really that different. If we're saved, it's just as much due to God's grace as it was for that criminal on the cross and as it was for my wife's Pop. Jesus' death for us is the only reason we'll be able to stand before Him, whether we can never remember a time before we trusted in Jesus, or whether with our last minute on this earth we place ourselves in His care. God's grace is amazing.